The address on the fraudulent account wasn't a stranger's. It was her own sister's. She had spent a year thinking she was the victim of some faceless crime, and she was right about being the victim, just wrong about the face. And I promise you, this story gets so much worse. Okay, so picture this. Two sisters. The younger one is 25, trying to build her life from scratch. Her own place, her own independence, the whole thing. The older one is in her early 30s, recently divorced, and apparently going through it financially. That's the setup. Two sisters. One of them struggling. One of them just trying to live her life. And for a while, nothing seems wrong. The younger sister just thinks she's having bad luck. A weird charge here. A credit card she doesn't remember opening. The kind of financial static that you almost dismiss because you assume it's just noise. Except it wasn't noise. It was a demolition. And someone she loved was holding the sledgehammer. So the charges keep appearing, and she starts taking it seriously. Disputes, fraud reports, phone calls that go nowhere, all of it. She's doing everything right. She thinks she's dealing with some random identity thief, the faceless kind, the kind that happens to people every day. And then she gets denied a lease. At 25 years old, her credit has been quietly gutted beneath her, and she didn't even know it. She has to pack up and move back in with her parents. She described it as one of the most humiliating experiences of her life. Not because of where she ended up, but because she genuinely did not understand why it was happening to her. She had done nothing wrong. Nothing. And somehow her entire financial foundation had just collapsed. It takes almost a full year of her life. But eventually, a bank's fraud department finally gives her a thread to pull. One address, connected to one of the fraudulent accounts, and it's her sister's address. I'm sorry. What? Not a stranger. Not some random criminal she'll never meet. Her sister. Her older sister. The one she grew up with. The one she trusted. So she does what any of us would do. She confronts her, privately, one-on-one. And her sister, she doesn't even try to lie. She breaks down crying almost immediately and admits everything. She says she was in a desperate financial place after the divorce. She says she made choices she wasn't proud of. She says she's sorry, and then she starts asking for things. Don't tell mom and dad. Don't tell my new fiancé. Oh, yeah, there's a fiancé now. A kind, financially stable guy who just proposed and has absolutely zero idea any of this happened. Just give me time. I'll fix it. I promise I'll pay back every cent. Okay, but here's where I need you to pause with me for a second. Because the younger sister said yes. She agreed. She kept her mouth shut. She loved her sister and she believed her. And she gave her the chance to make it right. Her sister fixed exactly nothing. Weeks go by, then months. Every single time the younger sister brings it up, there's a new excuse, a new delay, a new, it's just not the right moment right now. And meanwhile, the sister is planning a wedding. Not a small one, a lavish one. Tens of thousands of dollars, dress fittings, venue bookings, gift registries, the works, the full fairy tale. Being built, and I want you to really sit with this, being built directly on top of the financial wreckage she left behind. The younger sister's credit is still destroyed. The debt is still sitting there unresolved. And she's watching all of this happen in real time. The audacity, the sheer, breathtaking audacity. And you'd really think, that at some point, something in the sister would kick in. Some guilt, some urgency, something, right? Nope. The excuses kept coming. The wedding planning kept going. And the silence kept getting heavier. So Now we're at the rehearsal dinner, the night before the wedding. The room is warm, everyone's happy, there's a whole glow to the evening, and the groom stands up to give a toast. He talks about his fiancée like she hung the moon. He says she is the most honest person he has ever known in his entire life. He says he has never trusted anyone so fully. He's emotional, he's sincere. He means every single word. His fiancée is crying happy tears and holding his hand, and the younger sister is sitting there watching all of it, and something inside her just gave way. She didn't make a scene. She didn't stand up, didn't grab a microphone, didn't blow the whole dinner up in front of everyone. She waited. She let the evening wind down. She let people hug and laugh and drift toward the door. And then, quietly, she pulled the groom aside, and she told him everything. The fraudulent accounts, the stolen identity, the denied lease. The years she lost trying to untangle it all, the confrontation with her sister, the broken promises, the months of excuses, the wedding that got planned anyway, every single thing. And she had the documentation to back it up. Bank records, fraud reports, all of it right there on her phone, because she had learned, the hard way, to keep receipts. He called off the wedding the next morning, just like that. The whole thing. Done. And this is where it stops feeling satisfying and starts feeling like a gut punch, because the fallout was total. Her parents called her a monster. Her mother stopped speaking to her completely. Her sister went around telling everyone who would listen that the whole thing had been made up out of jealousy. Jealousy of what exactly? The fraudulent credit cards? The destroyed lease application? Girl, and look, the jealousy story falls apart the second you remember that there are bank records and fraud documentation that literally prove everything she said. But that didn't matter. The narrative was already spreading through the family like wildfire, and she just had to stand there and watch it burn. So now, picture where she is, still dealing with the financial fallout of what her sister did to her, still repairing credit damage that was never her fault. And now, on top of all of that, she's been cast as the villain by the family she was protecting, by the people who should have been on her side from the beginning. Her therapist told her she had every right to do what she did. Her closest friends were split. One had her back completely. The other thought she should have waited until after the wedding to avoid ruining the day. And she kept turning that argument over in her head. Wait until after the wedding, after they're married, after they've built a whole life together. Was she supposed to absorb years of damage, financial, emotional, all of it? And then smile for the photos anyway, so that someone else's beautiful day could stay beautiful? She didn't think that was fair. And honestly, I don't either. She said she felt genuinely terrible about the groom's pain. He was innocent. He got caught in the middle of something he had nothing to do with. And she carried real guilt about that. But she also believed, quietly, firmly, that he would have felt so much worse finding all of this out after the fact. And as of the last update on this story, her sister hadn't paid back a single cent. Not one. She was staying at their parents' house, being consoled, living rent-free in the family's sympathy. While the younger sister, the one who was robbed, was sitting alone in her apartment, trying to figure out how she ended up being the one the family couldn't forgive. So, I need to know what you think. Drop it in the comments right now. Was she wrong to tell him the truth before the wedding? Or did he deserve to know exactly who he was about to marry? Because this one has been living in my head rent-free, and I genuinely cannot stop thinking about it. There is no clean answer here. There's just a woman who got robbed by her own sister and had to choose between silence and honesty, and chose honesty and got punished for it anyway. Comment your verdict. I read every single one. And next up, a story that made our entire team go completely silent. Nobody had words. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe so you never miss a single drop of drama. Stories shared on this channel are inspired by real experiences posted online. All details have been anonymized and rewritten. Any resemblance to specific individuals is coincidental.